This is your girl, Ms. Entertainment. I am your host for Let's Talk About It. So welcome to my world. We're getting ready to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hey y'all, this is your girl, Ms. Entertainment. And thank you so much for all the questions that you sent in. So stay tuned. Ameenah's getting ready to answer them.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Ameenah Kaplan and I'm gonna answer a question from J Mad Drummer. The question is, when are we gonna see you back on the drums? The answer is, I am in Atlanta right now to pick up my drum set. That's not why I came, but it gave me a good excuse. So, you know, right now I'm kind of doing my Lion King thing, but I am always thinking about playing and definitely hoping to get back on soon. Thanks for asking. Hey there, I'm Ameenah Kaplan and I'm answering some questions. This one is from Thalia, and her question was, what are your thoughts on what's currently going on in the country? Thalia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. That is a huge question. There is so much going on in the country right now, but I'm going to assume, I guess, and narrow it down to a couple of specific things that are happening right now. One is the pandemic. One is the perpetual never-ending fight against police brutality and the obvious genocide of black men, the subjugation and racism, like all the things that we are always dealing with, and the protests that are happening. In terms of the pandemic, I don't know what's happening. From one moment to the next, I feel different things, but mainly I think I said this on the podcast, that I'm trusting the people who are using the scientific method, and they are human, and so mistakes happen, but I trust the method more than I trust the panic. In terms of what's going on with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, I'm disgusted, I'm outraged, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm waking up in tears. I'm trying to figure out how to move past that so that I can be more helpful the way that many of my friends are being. I'm feeling a little stuck emotionally right now by it, and a bit hurt by it all, but I'm hoping again to be able to be a part of the problem. Right now I'm a part of the problem, but I'm hoping to be a part of the solution rather than be a part of the problem. And I'm encouraged by a couple of things, and one is I'm really seeing, for I think the first time in my experience, some real genuine like white anger with this, where people are really, really, really fed up. And I think like we have been asking the white community to hold a mirror up to themselves since the beginning. And that is very difficult from a comfortable position. Like, why would you want to look at yourself? But I think that the way that these things are being videotaped and people are objectively being able to see what is happening, I think is beginning to change people's minds. I am seeing some real genuine anger and some, oh, I get it now, from non-people of color. And that is encouraging to me. I'm discouraged at the same time, while we were out protesting in the streets, that, you know, this young black trans woman was beat up by 15 black people simultaneously. It's not an event that happened 2 years ago that somebody was bringing up, like, what about this? No, it happened at the exact same time that people were on the streets protesting. So your question is huge. There's so much going on, and I have feelings about all of it, but I am trying to be driven by reason as opposed to my emotions, and I'm trying to be clear in my communication, and I'm trying to not stifle my anger and my hurt feelings about it, but not allow them to cloud my reason and my judgment. I hope that answered your question, and it was a great question. I gave you a long 4-minute answer, but I hope that was satisfactory. And if you want to chat about anything, I'm totally open to it. I'm also open to changing my mind about pretty much anything. So thank you again for that question. Hey there, I'm Ameenah Kaplan, and I was just answering a few questions from the listeners/viewers. All right, let's see here. This one is from Anthony West. I think that's the person's name. Are you only doing theater, and are you still doing feature films? Where can we see some of your most recent work? No, I'm also still doing television. Currently, I'm doing a show on Disney Plus called Encore. It's streaming right now. You can go check that out. I'm not acting, but it's a fun show. You might like it. The last feature I have is Infinity War, because yes, I did sort of shift my career to directing live entertainment, but I have been directing most recently for Disney, but also creating shows for Universal Japan. So, but if you want to see some of my most recent work, I'm always doing short film projects and stuff like that, usually sort of weird experimental dance films, because that's how I roll. But I was doing a project called The Performers with the cast and crew of The Lion King. Basically these little short 90-second documentaries about who they are and where they are in their career at this point in their journey, and where they are in their lives. It's called The Performers, and you can check it out on my website, ameenahkk.myportfolio.com. There should be a number of other little short film and dance projects that I'm doing. Just did another one with the cast of The Lion King called Brain Work, which I will probably post pretty soon. I just haven't gotten around to it, but yeah, so hopefully I answered your question, and thanks for asking. Hey there, I'm Ameenah Kaplan, and I was just answering a few questions from the listeners. This one's from Paul Sapp. He says, how long did it take you to really make your break in Hollywood? Have I made my break in Hollywood? I don't know. I appreciate that, Paul, but you know, that is a really good question, because I think that, okay, so, all right, I think I maybe can understand this. Okay, so I think that I got a little bit lucky in that I started booking commercials about 9 months after I got to LA. I got there right on the heels of the creation of the physical theater movement. The Stomp, Blue Man Group, Cirque du Soleil world was like really popular at that time. So basically, if you came from that world, the commercial world was very ready and accepting of you. And so I started doing commercials about 9 months after I got to LA. And then I sort of continued to do commercials. And of course you have your droughts and all that stuff. But if by Hollywood you mean like film and TV, then I would say that took a lot longer for me to kind of figure out what it is that I was selling. And once I figured out what I was selling, I found it easier to book work, because I knew what I was bringing into the room. And it made me able to streamline my process. And I think that took about 10 years, honestly. I was just happily doing commercials and sort of doing bit parts in TV and stuff like that, and you know, having a fine time of it. But I think what you mean is like, when did I kind of get into that place of, I guess, like a bit more notoriety or bigger shows, bigger parts on bigger shows. And again, that took about 10 years, and it was my personal journey. And I don't think that that is the same for everyone. I know of an actor who said that, you know, he was going to give it a year, and if he didn't make it, he was going to leave, and he got famous in that year. And that, I don't think I ever could have said any kind of thing like that. And we all know the famous story of Jim Carrey writing the $1 million check to himself. Like that, I don't think that could have been a part of my journey. We're all so different. But me personally, I had to figure out what I was selling, how to sell it, and how to feel good about what I was selling. And that took about 10 years. Thanks for asking.